Hello. Ooh, this is creepy. I feel like I have a filter on, but not like in a good way. Yeah, nothing like seeing nothing but the weird wrinkles on your face. I don't even have a nose. What is this? Sorry, can't erase this now. Now this is our take. Hi. The reason I was sticking my face there actually, I'm normal again. Like, I just wasn't inspired to do a video this week. And it was because the inspiration had not emerged yet. It came on Thursday instead of Wednesday. But also, like, my hair wasn't looking weird yesterday, and now I got something for you to watch now. All right. So this workout is dedicated to my newest private client, um, who I just want to express gratitude for before I start because it's a miracle she wanted to be my client because I was being really irresponsible at the time that she wanted to become a new client. But she believed in me, believed in our chemistry, and now I am so glad she's my client. I cannot wait to become her in this workout. Which, by the way, if you've never worked with me in real life, that is usually why I dedicate some of these workouts to specific clients. Like sometimes if I can kind of get in their head, get in their body, I mean, whatever it is, by doing these workouts myself, it just helps me feel more connected and be present when I'm with them. So if I don't really mean this as a sales plug, but if you ever were wanting to work with me in real life, that's the kind of weird you're going to get. Okay, we're going to start standing. I was about to get on the floor. We're not doing that. I really want to start this video over, but we're not going to do that either. We're going to be a grown up and we're just going to keep going. But I'm going to check the time so you get a full half hour. Okay, stand in your comfortable best posture. Set your feet about hip width apart so you don't feel wobbly, as close to parallel as you're comfortable. And I want you to put your hands on the top of your head. One hand just stacked on top of the other instead of lacing them, and make sure you go to the top. Once you get your hands there, your elbows are probably pointing forward a little bit. If they're not, like if you naturally go real wide, bring them forward just enough that you can see them in your peripheral vision. And we're going to go into our breathing. Root down and just set the weight into your heels. And I want you to take a nice slow breath in through your nose and imagine that air was reaching all the way down to the floor and filling up all the way into the crown of your head right under your hands. And then when you exhale, you're going to create a gentle compression as you blow the air out through your mouth. So that'll be both at your abs and a little lift of your pelvic floor. And as you breathe in, visualize yourself getting taller and wider in every direction as you fill with the air. And then when you exhale, feel that natural sinking as the air leaves your body. Tune into that one more time. Breathe in, feeling expansion. And then exhale and the gathering in towards your midline again. All right, now let's start to shrug your shoulders. So keep breathing, but just rhythmically up and down. It doesn't have to be on the pace of your breath because I feel like that's actually a little annoyingly slow for your shoulder blades. And maybe do a few where it's like one, then the other. Don't be like any kind of perfect with that. See how my chin's rocking around, see how my ribs are rocking around. I'm just trying to get you to loosen up the shoulder blades by getting them to glide around on your rib cage. Okay, give me one final up down, just relaxing into the down instead of forcing. And then keep your arms about at the angle you have them and just release one down and then the other. All right. So now we're going to go into some movement with your upper body to continue your warm up. So I'm going to go into a big arm motion now. On the inhale breath, we're going to take your arms up overhead and then exhale back down. I'm going to turn sideways to you. So I'm doing this whole motion just in front of my body. That last exercise in this one are meant to help improve the mobility of your shoulder blades. And to get that best effect, ideally you want your arms moving just a little forward of you. The angle of the ball and socket points just a bit forward at the shoulders into that region that you could reach. Let's do one more like that. Okay. Now lacing your fingers together, we're going to go through the push-pull at chest height. So I'm going to turn sideways again so you can see it. So I'm going to flex my upper body, flip my palms over, and reach the arms away from me and look down to the floor. Then on your inhale, hands back into your chest, look up at the ceiling. When you curl forward, feel your heels. Make sure you keep your weight over the back of your foot and press down into those heels as you lift your heart. Exhale, round forward, letting your blades spread apart. Inhale, draw them together. Now we're going to add a little knee bend as you flex. You can go into a deeper rounding of the spine. Inhale, lift back up. 2 more times. Feel the blades spread apart. And then slide closer together 1 more time, rounding the upper body. And then stacking back up again. Let's get down into a kneeling position on your hands and your knees. Okay. Now sensing the alignment of the body without being vertical, spread your fingertips apart and just do, again, just casually a couple of weight shifts, feeling the weight go to your hands, going back to your legs, and then settle yourself somewhere where you feel pretty even between your arms and legs. Energizing your spine, you want to reach the crown of your head away from your sit bones so they're pointing towards the opposite walls. Let's try to stabilize that posture, and we're going to go into lifting opposite arm and leg, our little swimming prep. When you exhale, glide one leg back on the mat, and then when it straightens, lift it to hip height as you reach the other arm forward at shoulder height, and then inhale to return them back down. Switch arm and leg every time. Glide the leg out to straight before you pick it up. Tap it down, slide it back in. As you're reaching your limbs away, use your exhale to stay connected to the center of your body. Inhale to lower. Feeling the force of your breath pull the abs in like you have a sling, supporting your shape from underneath. Exhale, reach away. And inhale down. And we're just going to keep going, alternating with that breath pattern. And I want to see if you can notice the contrast. The force of your breath is an energy pulling into the center of you, your actual, gravitational center, while the limbs are trying to create a traction pulling away from your center. Sense the balance of those two forces working with each other instead of against each other. Okay, so we're not in a bad tension system. We're feeling it like couple dancing, those two elements dancing with each other. And reach and lower back down. Okay. Now curl your toes underneath your feet. We're going to go into real hard stability exercise. No, I want you to use the same breath focus to execute this. We're just going to go into a small knee hover. So give a little pressure into your fingertips, then your toes, and when you exhale, you're going to pick your knees up and hover them a little bit off the mat. Stay here, take a nice big inhale, and then exhale to come back down. Breathe in at the bottom. Start the breath, feel the fingertips and toes, and then push away from the floor. Keep that hover nice and low. Take a breath in and exhale back down. One more time like that. Inhale. And then exhale, draw the abs in and press away from the ground. Hold there to breathe in, and then exhale to return. Let's add a little more endurance to that. We're going to do a very small march, alternating, lifting your legs. No more arms, they're going to stay down. When you exhale, press into your fingers, shift your weight up, and find that hover. Now hold there for a breath in. Next time you exhale, feel the abs stabilizing you first, and then pick up one foot and just reach it back a couple inches. Keep this tiny. Inhale to lower it back down. Try your other leg. Start the breath, then the movement to lift. Inhale to return. Exhale as you pick your foot up. Inhale, lower. And exhale, compress and lift. Inhale, down. One more on each side. Exhale, up. Inhale, return. Last time to lift and lower. Okay, knees down. Let's get the weight off your wrists. Sit back towards your heels. Let's take you down onto your back. Look at us going right into that great wrist work right away. All right. I'm a little frustrated with myself. I'm not going to talk the whole workout, I promise. But I'm a little frustrated with myself because I haven't been able to do real cardio, like substantial cardio for 6 weeks now. And I could feel it just doing that exercise. Being hurt's such a drag. All right. Knees bent, feet flat on the mat like usual. Leave a little space in between your legs. Let's do some hip rolls. So let's place the arms by your sides. Let's take a couple of regular hip rolls just to get the feel of it. Before you start, sense yourself on the mat. So your pelvis, your ribs, and your head all are weighted down into the mat. And you want to begin with the natural curves of your spine present, so your low back should have a little arch under it as well as your neck. Take a breath in before you start moving. And when you exhale, begin by rocking your pelvis to start curling the spine off. So you'll notice that your low back gets flatter before the bones of your low back actually lift up into the air. They go down to go up. Hold there, take a breath in. When you exhale, you're going to roll back down through the ribs, and then they'll stay down. Feel the low back press down. And then as you unrock the pelvis, allow that little bit of curve to come into your low back. And again, exhale, start to curl yourself off. Keep your pubic bone tipped up a little bit and reach your knees away from your shoulders. Hold there, breathe in, and then roll back down and create a very gentle pull as if you're dragging your hips toward your heels. So we're creating elongation and space between the vertebrae. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, roll off again. As you start to lift your hips, give a little pressure into your big toes. Hold there and breathe in. And exhale to roll back down. We're going to do my favorite version of this exercise. One arm overhead. Exhale, roll yourself up. When you breathe in, reach one arm overhead and leave it there as you roll down, challenging yourself to stay centered as you release each vertebra in order. And then as you're unrocking your pelvis, let's take that arm down by your side. Exhale, curl the hips off, giving a little pressure down into both arms. So we're activating your lats first when you're lifting up. Then when you inhale and reach overhead, just that one lat goes into a stretch. And then when you roll down, we're letting the weight of your ribs sink into that soft tissue, enhancing the stretch even more as you drop. Inhale to lower your arm. Exhale, curl your hips up, reaching your knees away from your shoulders. Inhale, arm reaches overhead. And then exhale, roll back down. Inhale, release your arm. Let's do one more. Exhale as you curl off. Inhale, other arm reaches overhead. And then exhale to roll back down again. And then as you inhale, rock back to neutral. Okay, and lower your arm. Turn onto your side. All right, we're going to do spinal rotation with a circular arm. Knees tucked up into tabletop. As best you can assess, try to have a 90-degree angle at your hip as well as your knees. And then reach your top arm forward at chest height. When you breathe in, I want you to start to circle your arm towards your ear. And then begin to rotate your upper body so you can reach your arm back behind you towards that wall. Then you're going to circle your arm back down to your hip and around to the front. Okay, so I'm going to inhale for the first half, and I'm turning my palm up as I go past the ear. I'm exhaling for the second half, and then turning the palm down as I come back to the front. You probably were already doing that without me saying it, because it is not real comfortable to make this circle otherwise. Let's do 2 more times, reaching up and back as you inhale, and then down and forward. And one more time, anchor down your knees to resist that rotation and around to the front. All right, let's take it to the other side. Bonus points if you did it that way too. All right, legs in tabletop, top arm reaching out again. I feel like the video just got darker. I hope you can still see me. Inhale, arms up by your ear, start to rotate. Exhale to your hip, which is also funny considering how washed out I was when this started. Inhale, start your circle, open the chest, and then exhale around to the front. Big inhale, let your gaze follow the arm as much as it's comfortable to. That'll help that rotation. And 2 more times, trying to keep your hips and your legs still as the anchor point of the movement. And one more time, up and over to open the chest with that inhale, and exhale back around to the front. All right, let's take it onto your back again. I want you to put one hand behind your head. You're going to keep your other arm long by your side for right now. And since we've already kind of talked about where your elbow belongs when your hand's back here, actually, let me go to this first. I am not going to start relaxed with my arm on the floor. I want you to bring your elbow up a little bit at an angle where you can press your shoulder blade flat against the mat. Okay. In fact, do that with me. Like open it out wide, and you'll feel like that width almost pops this up. And then when you bring your elbow up higher, you can sink the shoulder joint itself and your shoulder blade flat. Okay, that's going to be important for this, but now I'm going to switch hands. Okay. So let's go into an ab prep. Because your arms are in two different positions, it is easier to go crooked when you do this. So your gaze is important that we're looking right in between the knees when you curl up. Breathe in before you start. When you exhale, you're going to tip your chin down, curl your head and shoulders off the mat till you're at the bottom tip of your shoulders, and hover, shoulder blades, and hover that arm off the mat, and then inhale to lower back down. That was a bad cue. Exhale, nod your chin, curl forward, reach your fingertips towards your toes like you're setting up to the 100, and inhale to come back down. When you begin the movement, you're nodding your chin down to initiate lifting it. That's your articulation. And then lower. And exhale, curl up, feeling the breath bring you into the lift. Inhale back down. One more time like that. Exhale up. And inhale down. Now you're going to stay up on this next one. Exhale, nod your chin, curl up, and just set this pose. Now, you've been trying not to go off center. I want you to use this arm to make a little side bend. So when you exhale, you're going to reach your arm towards your foot and go with it. Inhale to return. Let's do that 3 more times. Reach and inhale, come back. Exhale towards the leg. Inhale, return, and exhale over. And return. One more time. Exhale, back to center, lower back down. I want to do one more set and then we'll switch sides. Nod your chin, curl up, and just set that initial shape. Take a breath in, and then exhale. Let's add the side bend. Inhale, return. Now, most of this motion is coming from the arm reaching, the shoulder itself sliding down, and the ribs following. But if you're noticing just a little bit of movement in your pelvis, try not to be too rigid. That's okay. A little bit's fine. You just don't want to like rotate onto your side and then come on back down. All right, switch hands. Okay, so you can get that elbow angled up. Don't forget about that. Just the crunches. Nod your chin, curl up, and look at the legs. And inhale to lower back down. Exhale, tip your chin down, flex forward, and inhale to return. Exhale, curl up, and inhale, lower. 2 more this way. Inhale, return, and exhale, nod and flex, and inhale, lower. All right, we're coming up for those long ones. Exhale, flex forward and hover that arm. Now take a breath in. When you exhale, you're going to side bend and reach your hand down towards your leg. Inhale, return. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, back. Exhale to bend. Inhale, back. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale, back. 1 more time. Side bend. And return. Lower back down. 1 more round. Nod your chin. Curl up into your flexion. Breathe in before you go. Exhale. Create that side bend. Use your breath. Inhale. Expand to return. Exhale. Slide the ribs towards the hip. Inhale, open and come back. Exhale for 3. Make sure you still feel lifted in that crunch. 2 more times, because now you've done a lot of crunches. And return. 1 more time, side bending. Back to the middle. Lower it back down. All right, flip over onto your stomach. We're going to do some windmill arms while we sustain a hover. Okay, so starting out, you can pose your arms in a W for a second just while we get organized. Legs are going to be parallel. They could be together or slightly separated. And you're going to lift up your upper body just a little bit. Enough to feel the lift coming from your upper or mid back, not the lower back. Okay, then take a pause to feel what your abs do when we're laying in this position. If you do the same exhale we've been working on, the force of compressing will feel like a sling again, like you're pulling your abdominal wall away from the mat. That's how we're going to create support so we don't go into the low back. All right, so if you got your hover, you got your abs, pubic bone's the last thing I want you to think about before we start. Give just a little pressure into your pubic bone as if you were making an upside down imprint. That will activate your glutes. Then, with an exhale breath, I want you to extend your arms straight out to the sides, keeping your palms down for now. When you breathe in, you're going to bring one hand down to your hip and the other arm to your ear. Both your palms should turn in towards the midline of your body. And then you're going to take both arms out wide again when you exhale. Switch arms. Inhale, one to your ear, one to your side, and then out nice and wide. So here we are again, using the arms, doing different things to challenge your ability to stay centered and stable without any side bend. Inhale, arms tight to the body. Exhale out wide. Inhale, squeezing in. Exhale, pull those abs and feel your support. We got 2 more to go. And exhale wide. Last one. Inhale, close to your body. Exhale wide. Let's go back to those W arms to catch yourself when you land. Okay. Now, push away from the floor with your forearms. So we get your head and your chest and most of your ribs off the mat. Leave like 1 or 2 down for this. Now, keep breathing. Can you play around with hunching your shoulders forward and then rolling your shoulders back and down? And do this as a relationship between the arms and shoulders right now. So when you hunch forward, you can see you kind of sink a bit. And when you pull the blades back and down, you could press away with the floor. This particular position of the arms should get a sense of the opposite of retraction and depression, like you're taking your shoulders and kind of flipping them over you like you were putting on a hoodie. And release. Now I want you to come up and stay up, emphasizing the blades coming back and down like they're making a V towards your mid-back. Okay, now let's add a side bend. So stay lifted, and you're going to reach one arm across to the opposite side of the mat and then come back down. So this again is just accenting the shoulder blades. You used engagement of all of the muscles around your blades to come up and support you in this extended position. And now when we reach the arm across, in addition to the spine side bending, the blades are getting a nice upward rotation. What do you know? We're stretching the lats again. One more time. Is that like all I lecture you guys about? I feel like it. And back to center. Come on, back down. All right, last one in this series, swimming. So in the beginning, you did opposite arm and leg from a kneeling position, and we did it slow in rhythm with your breath. Now we're going to do a fast flutter motion. Ideally 5 on your inhale, 5 on your exhale, but who's counting? Okay, take your legs. If they're not already open, take them open to about hip width. Turn your toes out so you're in a slight lateral rotation. When you exhale, you're going to rise into that low hover like the first move, and you're going to take your arms and your legs off the mat with you. Now go into that flutter. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5. Now draw your navel to your spine. Inhale, reaching out those limbs, and pull back into the core. 2 more breaths. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep emphasizing lift. Last 10. And knees nice and straight to finish strong. Reach everything out. Lower it all back down. Sit back onto your heels in a shell stretch. See, did you hear me? Like, I cannot breathe. Inhale into your back. You breathe for me. Exhale, draw your abs in. Release your upper body a little more. And again, nice big breath in. And then when you exhale, roll back up to sitting. All right. Let's go to tall kneel. Let's get a little twisteroo going on. One leg up, one leg down. Let me pause and think for a second. Yeah, one leg up, one leg down. I was trying to decide what to do with your arms. Okay, let's do stop sign hands. We're going to do 2 short sets because we'll have to even out your legs, but we are going to twist both ways, 3 pulses to each side. So take an inhale breath, grow nice and tall through your spine. When you exhale, you're going to rotate your back leg for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, center. Other side, rotating 3, deeper 2, deeper 1. Inhale, return. 2 more sets like that. Exhale to twist. I want you to keep looking towards the back hand to make sure your head and neck follow the spiral. And 2, and 3. Back to middle. Last round for 3, and 2, and 1. Return. Exhale, twist. And 2, and 3. Back to center. Before we switch legs, just take a little side bend in the direction of the front leg, and then come back out. All right, switch legs. I'm going to strip a layer. Da-da-da-da-da. All right. Here we are again. Still stopping the stop signs. All right, go into the back leg first. Let's take an inhale breath, grow tall. Now exhale, rotate for 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale to return. Other side for 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Deeper, 2, taller, 3. Back to middle, and twist. And 2, and 3 to center. Last set. 3, deeper, 2, and 1. Back to middle. One more, 3, and 2, and 1. Take it back to the center. Lower your arms back down. And then let's take that nice big stretch, gently pushing out that hip as you go towards the front leg. All right. Let's sit down. How am I doing for time? Time just flies by at half an hour, man. Okay. I want to keep playing around with some crooked stuff because this isn't about that client, but I'm just kind of having fun with this today. I want you to work with one leg straight, and if that's not comfortable, one leg slightly bent and the other leg a lot of bent. We're going to do half roll back like this. Now, if you know this exercise already, the challenge here is going to be, again, to stay even because your hip flexors are going to have a different amount of tension in them, maybe a different amount of gripping if you're tight there. Reach your arms forward at chest height, and then round your upper body forward over your leg so you're looking down into that space between your legs. When you exhale, start to roll your pelvis back, and we're going to round your lower spine down towards the mat. And I only want you to go as far as you can while keeping that flexion, and then inhale, dive forward towards your leg. Exhale, roll back, and inhale to return. So if I was talking in terms of hip flexor, this one is the harder side, the straight leg side, if you're someone that's tight in your hip flexors. If you're somebody that's weak, like you slump backwards, you might find it harder on the bent knee side to do this. Now, I'm bringing that up now because we're about to change it. When you rock back, I want you to try lifting the straight leg and then place it down gently, and heavy on the gently because I want you to slow down the leg motion for the last inch or two. Of course, so it doesn't crash, but hopefully you're feeling this. That's where it's hard. So I don't care about that rock, but can you come down with control using that hip flexor strength and lift and return. Now you're going to go back and you're going to stay there. Your last one before we switch legs. Hold this pose. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, arms go down. Hey, again, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Give me one more of these. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Curl forward. If you're like, what's a hip flexor? Well, at least now you know. It's here. It's the quads too. Let's switch your legs. All right, so go back to the beginning. Sit up tall so you're on your sit bones. This is a reference point when you start. Round forward with your upper body. Take an inhale breath there. And then as you exhale, roll back your hips, tucking your pubic bone up as you curl down. Inhale, flex over your legs. Exhale, roll back, slide the shoulders out of your ears, and inhale, curl to the leg. Roll it back. When you get forward, make sure you're looking down at the floor. And then when you rock back, your gaze shifts so you see the wall. All right, here comes the leg, my friends. Leg goes up as you roll back and curl forward. The way we've changed it might change how far you can go. A lot of you might find you actually can go farther when you bring your leg with you. Remember to go slow at that last inch. So I almost forgot to talk about the most important part. And dive forward, control that return, get all the way to your sit bones, and roll down. Curl forward. This is the one you're keeping. Roll back, set that pose. Now when you inhale, lift the arms to increase the load you're holding with your abs. Exhale, back down. Inhale into your back. Exhale, pull your abs and tuck up your pubic bone more. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. And inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Go ahead and dive it forward. Finish it strong, taking that leg down with control. And then sit up nice and tall. All right, bend both of the knees. Let's roll like a ball. Hands are going to go on your shins. If that doesn't feel comfortable with the length of your arm or tension in your shoulders, try switching to here just to change up how you're gripping. Okay, make sure you have some mat to roll backwards onto. Roll back of your sit bones and then lift your legs up one at a time into the air. Okay, become the ball. Flex the spine a little more so you're looking at your thighs. Keep those elbows angled out. When you're ready, you're going to roll back to your shoulder blades when you breathe in. And when you exhale, rock back up and balance just back of the sit bones. Inhale, roll back, and exhale up. Now, if you're new to this one, the learning curve from like feeling to perfecting, you want to feel each vertebra of the spine tapping down in order. So even though this is not an articulation, it'll remind you of the hip roll, that you have to feel the low back connect to the ground before it can come up in order to hold that full flexion. You're also keeping tension between your arms and your legs, pushing your shins or your thighs into your hands and pulling your hands into your legs to take you back and forth. So when you're first learning it, you just kind of feel like the tension and the clunking and you're hurling yourself. But over time, balancing out the play between the arms and the legs, that push and pull back and forth, gives you space to keep fixing or improving the evenness of your flexion. When you feel like you're clunking, it usually means that your ribs are rounding forward, but your low back's not doing its portion of this. One more time. And that makes a lot of sense because your low back's usually curled forward. So, again, if you're new to this, it might not be natural for it to go the other way. All right, in due time. You sick of my talking yet? Let's wrap this up. Just a couple more exercises. Okay, double stack. Let's hit a little side bend. So you've got both your legs out to the side, hands out wide, other arm is resting on your leg. When you initiate this motion, you're going to drop your shoulder. On your exhale, let your shoulders sink down, lift your hips up, and create a side bend. And then breathe in, come down with control. So just like we were doing your leg on the half roll back, coming down slow, I want you to make this last 2 inches slow today. I don't usually do that. It's fun. Exhale, up and over, ribs lift and hip lifts to make this shape. And then come down, drag it out, drag it out, drag it out, drag it out. One more time like this, up and over, allow your head to fall. And then come down, take your time, just to put a little more endurance in the shoulder part of this exercise. Okay, we're going to do a few more reps on this side, adding the twist choreography. When you exhale, I want you to make your side bend, but this time, reach your arm up to the ceiling instead of overhead. Then you're going to rotate towards the floor, reach your arm under for a thread the needle to make a twist. Come back to your side, and now let's rotate the other way, looking up to the ceiling and opening your chest. Go back to your side bend. Now really reach that arm overhead. Take your time coming back down. And again, up and over, arms up to the ceiling. So with that oppositional force between both arms. Now you're going to twist towards the floor and imagine lifting up higher by pushing away with your arm and leg. Like get out of the way of that arm swinging. Go back to your side. Rotate, look up at the ceiling. And then come back to that side bend again. Arm overhead. And then back down. Just one more time on this side. Inhale, lift up to side bend. Exhale, rotate, pull those abs up, let your head fall. Inhale, back to side bend. Exhale, rotate towards the ceiling. Inhale, back onto your side, top arm overhead. And then come on back down. Diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle to the other side. All right, so pushing from here to start it. Just your side bend first. On your exhale, press into your fingers, drop your working shoulder, squeeze your glutes, lift those hips and stretch. Inhale to come back down. I love when you're working really hard in one part of your body and then I'm like, call it a stretch. But the top side should feel a stretch. And then that bottom side has to work, controlling you coming down nice and slow. And again, up and over, reaching and lower. 2 more that way. Lingering in that side bend, enjoying the openness on the top side, and then challenging that bottom hip. And 1 more. Up and over to stretch. And then back down. All right, I'm just going to tuck in a little. My mat is really sliding on me right now. Okay, side bend it. When you breathe in, go into your side bend, move that top arm overhead. Now exhale, rotate towards the floor, increase your flexion. Inhale, go back to your side. Exhale, rotate the other way, open your chest. Inhale, arm overhead, take that stretch. Exhale, come all the way down. Inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, rotate, reach your arm underneath. Inhale, go back to your side. Exhale, rotate towards the ceiling, open the chest. Inhale, big side bend. Exhale to come back down. 1 more time. Breathe in, lift your hips, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, rotate your upper body, thread that arm through. Inhale, arm goes up. Exhale, rotate the other way, open the chest. Breathe in, take a big overhead stretch, and then come all the way back down. Okay, sit with your legs out in front of you. They can be straight or slightly bent at the knees. We're just going to finish with spine stretch forward. Once again, I want you to get into a position where you start on your sit bones. If you can't find it, grab a pillow to sit on so your hips are up a little higher. Rest your hands on your legs. Take an inhale breath as you continue to grow tall to the ceiling. When you exhale, tip your chin down and start to round forward, sliding your hands down towards your feet to flex. Now hold there, take a slow breath into your back. When you exhale, you're going to roll back up to vertical. Now inhale, circle your arms behind you and put your fingertips on the mat. Exhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest and lift your chin. And then inhale to return to your start position, hands on your legs. Take an exhale, nod your chin, flex forward. Make sure you're still on your sit bones as you curl your upper body. Hold there to breathe in. And then exhale, roll back up to the top. Inhale, arms swing around to the back. Exhale, roll the shoulders back, lift your chest and chin. Inhale, back to neutral, return your arms. Last one. Drop your chin, curl forward, slide your hands towards your feet. Hold there, take a nice slow breath in, and then exhale, roll back up. Inhale, arms around to the back, roll the shoulders back, lift your chest and chin, and then come back to neutral. All done. All right, my friends. I hope you have a groovy day. I'll see you next week.